Okay, a royal wedding and a divorce headline this week's Royal Roundup as Patricia Treble joins us now. Patricia, good morning to you.
Good morning.
And let's begin with what is being called the UK Wedding of the Year. As a matter of fact, some are calling it a modern-day Bridgerton. What can you tell us?
This has got everything. So you've got beautiful bride, handsome groom. He is young. He is incredibly wealthy, 20 billion Canadian, give or take. Oh, and he has a title. He is the Duke of Westminster. And one of the richest men in Britain. And he and his bride, Olivia Henson, got married in Chester Cathedral near his family estate. Here's the one thing. For her something blue, she wore blue shoes, which I love. Let's talk tiara, though. We got to, because she went into his family's collection of tiaras. Fabergé, 1906, as one does.
Wow.
So, but here's the fun thing, because they've been for generations in that area of Britain, and so wanted to thank the people because it was huge crowds, enormous disruption. Gave out ice cream to everyone, so you could go to one of 3 ice cream shops in Chester all day and get ice cream on demand. Duke picking up the tab.
Oh.
I think this is a tradition that should continue.
I'm totally for
yes.
it. Yeah.
All right, Prince William served as an usher. Yep. Princess Eugenie was also in attendance. Now, despite getting an invite, no Prince Harry.
No Prince Harry. So Hugh Grosvenor, the groom, is the godfather of Prince William's son George and Prince Harry's son Archie. So they are all, the families are all godmothers and godfathers of everyone, basically, the two families. But they decided long ago it was going to be too much of a disruption if Harry was there, right? The focus is going to be on Harry and William. It's not going to be on bride and groom, so no. And yeah, so we had, like, would have been a lot more royals because, of course, Hugh Windsor's godfather is the king. But, of course, cancer treatments. Would have likely had Kate there, might have had some of the kids there, but, of course, circumstances being what they are.
Right.
But still, a big contingent.
All right, let's move from a wedding to a divorce, because we're the Diana's brother, Charles Spencer, getting divorced from his Canadian-born wife.
Canadian-born wife, third wife, Karen Gordon. Yeah, he's not had good times for marriages, and this is kind of following the same path. They've been married for 13 years, and she was really quite instrumental in refurbishing the fabric, the historical fabric of their family home, all throughout house. They've got a big YouTube presence now, and it's all kind of, she was driving all of that. But there have been rumors for a while that he was getting very close to a co-host of his podcast. He has a historical podcast. It's fabulous. And so now comes word that, yeah, they're going to be getting divorced.
Okay. All right. This is a very busy week on the royal schedule because we have Trooping the Colour, the King's Birthday Parade, and that's happening this Saturday. And there's talk, despite Princess Kate's apology about not attending the rehearsal, there's some speculation that we may see her.
Yeah, there is speculation. So Trooping the Colour, for those in Canada who want to get up very, very, very early, it's at about 5:30. You have to start watching Toronto time. So set your alarms. I will be up. There's talk that she'll be there because it's her regiment, the Irish Guards, who are being trooped this year. They're being paraded. Their colours are being paraded. I'm not so sure, simply because, A, it's a huge event. It's a lot of time in the spotlight because she would be on the parade grounds. Maybe she might appear on the balcony, maybe. The other thing is, this is the King's birthday. It's his official birthday. Are you going to take away for the King? Because we know what the pictures are going to be the next day. So I'm not so sure, but signs, there are rumors floating around.
Can you imagine the reaction, though, if you do see her on the balcony?
People would go crazy.
Yeah, it'd be big, for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Last week, we saw D-Day commemorations at Normandy, and it's now being reported that the King, King Charles, was determined to be there despite his cancer treatments, Patricia. Meanwhile, the British Prime Minister's early return from those commemorations being heavily criticized, and some people are now calling it maybe the defining mistake of the current UK election.
Yeah, this was not great. So the King was apparently in pain from his chemo, but insisted on going to as many of these commemorations as he could. And Rishi Sunak skipped out on the big international one in the afternoon on D-Day. So all the other world leaders were there, and he sent his foreign minister. And everyone was like going, what? Turns out he was going back to film an interview, a media interview, that won't even air till this week. I mean, I'm going to say the optics of, honoring those who gave their lives in sacrifice for democracy, not good, I'm going to say. We'll see if he can recover, but I mean, the election's on July 4th, not a lot of time to turn it around.
Okay. Finally, the red portrait, the famous portrait of King Charles that we've talked about quite a bit. We now know where it's going. It's going to Buckingham Palace.
The king apparently wants it at Buckingham Palace. So here's the thing. It is not his portrait. So it's obviously of him, but it actually belongs to the Worshipful Company of Drapers. Say that 5 times quickly. It's been on display at a private art gallery just for a month before it goes into Drapers Hall in London. But the king wants to borrow it for the summer tourist season at Buckingham Palace. He wants it among the beautiful old masters and the beautiful royal portraits. And I would love to see it there because I love this portrait, you know that, and to see it with some of the other spectacular portraits at Buckingham Palace, oh yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he is quite enthralled. He is quite proud of this portrait, isn't he?
I think, and I think it's wonderful because it sets a tone for his reign, right? It's something a bit different. It's something, it's him. I mean, the image is him, but it is, completely different.
All right, Patricia Treble, good to see you as always on a Monday, and thank you for another Royal Roundup.
Thank you.